Hello, friends, and welcome back to this episode of the You and Youth Podcast, a podcast for parents seeking to raise their kids in a complex world with a faith that can keep up. On today's episode, we have some really cool content for you. We have a collection of interviews from high schoolers and middle schoolers that attended our summer mission trips with us this year. We've got high schoolers who went on our Appalachia Service Project trip in June to Wise County, Virginia, and then we have middle schoolers who attended Week of Hope in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing projects in that area. So we're going to hear from some of our returning high schoolers first to see what their experience was like and what keeps them coming back and what they get out of it. So here we go with our returners. Hey friends, we are here with 3 of our returning students this year on ASP. They're going to introduce themselves real quick here, and then we're going to get started on our conversation. Jen, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm Genevieve. I'm going to be a senior next year, and this is my 3rd trip with ASP.
Awesome.
I'm Connor. I am going to be a senior, and this is my 2nd year on ASP.
Awesome.
I'm Bella Campi. I'm going to be a senior as well, and this is also my 2nd year of ASP.
Awesome. So these 3 are all returners. They've been to ASP before. They know the ropes. But at one time, they were first-timers. At one time, they had no idea what they were getting into. And so we're going to start off with that as our first point of conversation. So, guys, if you could tell me a little bit about what your first trip was like, what it was like going into it, maybe what were some of the things you were anxious about or excited about, and what was that first trip like for you? Bella, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. My first trip, I was really anxious about it, actually, just because it was like a new environment, and, I hadn't done it before. I didn't know what to expect, and so I was really, I was having a hard time feeling it at first, but then as the week went on, I gradually enjoyed it more and more, and I learned new things. I got to hang out with some really cool people, and I had a really fun time, and I think I did some good while I was at it too. So yeah.
Awesome. Connor, how about you?
I was really nervous, and I was a really good perk was for me was that my friends were coming with me, so it's my best friends, and I was really nervous. And then once we got in the groove of things, of how the day-to-day went, it got really easy, and I really enjoyed getting to know the homeowner and getting to know that they appreciate the work that we do for them.
Awesome. Jen?
Yeah. I think that year 1 I was probably less nervous just because I've been around ASP for ever. I've never gone, but my mom went every year, and my parents came with me that first year.
Yeah.
But I think I was nervous, especially about going to the work site and being in a crew of people I wasn't sure I was going to get along with. I think I was also worried about some of the actual work, not knowing how to do stuff was also scary, or what if I have to use a power tool I've never used before. But I think that Connor does a really great job of putting together all the teams and stuff, and I think I was really happy to be in a crew of people who were there to support me and also learn along with me. And so it was exciting to learn how to do new stuff, and I think by the end of the week I felt like I really fit in.
Can one of you tell everybody that's listening what kind of project you're working on this week and what you're kind of doing for your homeowner?
We're putting in flooring, subflooring, and we're fixing some of the plumbing.
Awesome. How's that been going?
Well, for the most part, the flooring goes really fast. I haven't personally done any of the subflooring and plumbing yet. Connor has. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's actually, it's going really well. There was some uncomfortable challenges that I had to push through, but once I got through that, and it's not like me, I'm taking control of everything, and it's George and the adult people are helping us, and they show us what to do exactly.
Yeah.
And once you get in, once you understand what you're doing, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah, once you get in a groove, it gets a lot more easy going.
Yeah. Jen, do you have anything to add?
No, I feel like they covered it. I agree with what they're saying. Once you get started, I feel like getting started is the hardest part. But once you get into your next thing, it goes really, the work goes fast.
Awesome. What role do the adults on your crew each year play for you personally? How important are they to the dynamic of your group?
I feel like every year that I've gone, I've kind of had an adult that has been there for, I think I've always experienced a crew with an adult that has been there for like the construction part, and then also an adult who was kind of there for the like more emotional and like organizational part. I think that the adults are really good to like keeping us on track for sure. Mm-hmm. Our crew this year is pretty
pretty fun.
We're pretty awesome and hype, so but they keep us moving. I think they keep us organized, and also they drive us around. So
yeah, important things, right?
Yeah, I think they really help us, like they really guide us very well through especially the challenging stuff. Mm-hmm. And they really get us they get us comfortable with like uncomfortable situations.
That's a great line.
And some of that, it's like really hard for people to do that, and it not only helps with like ASP, but it helps with just like life in general.
Yeah, they really do an incredible job of not only getting you through the practical stuff of this week, but like helping you through kind of those bigger picture things that you guys experience. Bella, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, so ASP, my parents don't go, so I'm away from my parents all week, and our crew leaders kind of like serve as like stand-in parents for the week, I guess. Because there is like, I feel more reassured when I'm around them. I feel a little more confident and like safe, I guess, like the way you would around a parent. And so it kind of works like that in a lot of ways. Awesome. So they're very important to how the group functions and how we are able to function at all. So yeah.
Awesome.
And it's good knowing almost all of the leaders this year and most years like are parents, so they have kids on the trip, and they know how to kids who've gone in the past. So I think that they know teenagers, but then they also like, I think that makes me feel reassured, like safety wise too, like to know that I have someone looking out for me who has kids on the trip, like who is thinking like, would I let my kid do this? So I have never felt like unsafe on a job site situation. Yeah.
Jen, particularly for you, you've had mom and dad come every single year that you've been on ASP. What has that been like? Have they been super present? Have they been like overbearingly like present for you? Or have you guys felt like there's like a good balance there?
I feel like there's a really good balance. Honestly, I don't see my parents at all during the work day. But it's really nice to come back to the center at the end at the evening and like wave to each other at dinner. Like that's kind of the experience that I've had. Like even having like a parent, like my mom is super, like she works in the church. She's not like, but I'm not seeing her all the time. Yeah. And so I think even though I have both of my parents there, I'm still getting a good taste of independence. Yeah. And I think that it's different for different people. Sure. I think someone else might choose to be spending more time with their parents, but for me, it's been awesome to just kind of like be able to hug them good night and good morning and talk to them when I need them. Awesome.
I appreciate that perspective, because I think for a lot of our newer parents that might be considering this experience, they wonder, is this a time for me to be able to just like send my kid and be completely independent for them for the week, or like can I come and not get in their way? Parents are really concerned about the opportunity for independence that this trip has to offer you all. So I appreciate that perspective.
Yeah, I feel like I've been grateful to have my parents here, because I think that at the end of the day, I'm still having so much time to kind of be my own person. And whether that be on the job site with my crew, like in the van, when we like go on a Walmart run, like there's tons of time to just like to practice independence.
Awesome. So last question that we're going to talk about, I'm going to go around the horn here and ask you, why do you think, it's kind of a two-part question. Why do you think ASP is so meaningful? And what would you say to somebody who's never been and who's considering coming on this trip?
I think ASP is really meaningful because you can make a human connection that you never would have otherwise made, I think. And again, coming back to I think you're improving yourself when you're coming on ASP. I'm learning new things, not only like new skills in like building and stuff, but also I'm improving my interpersonal relationship skills. I have to like communicate with my crew and make sure we're all like, I guess we're all working together properly. And so I'm improving in that way. And I think that's what's great about ASP. And then I would say to a person who hasn't come before and wants to, or is like on the precipice, I guess.
Yeah, on the fence.
On the fence, yes. Yep. I know how to speak. On the person on the fence, I would say definitely come, because you will have a good time. Like I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun every single day, even in between all the like I'm missing my parents. There's like difficult stuff to do at the work. Sometimes unpleasant things to do. It's all still overarching. Like it's a fun time. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Connor.
I would also I agree with everything Bella said. I would also like to add, it's so important to get outside of like Hudson, Ohio, and out of like Ohio in general. Yeah. Because I remember the first time I walked into the homeowner's house last year, and how different it was. Yeah. And how other people live. Yeah. And that made a huge impact on me. Yeah. And everyone, because last year was pretty much everyone's first year too in our group. And so that made a huge impact on how I see the world, and just not our little bubble around Hudson.
Yeah, you're able to get a wider perspective that you just grow so much from that passive moment, really. Yeah. And so for somebody who's never gone, what would you say to them?
I would say, you have a great time, lots of snacks,
lots of candy.
You've been eating all the snacks.
I have been eating all the snacks.
This isn't even our van.
Yeah, there's snacks in here. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
You're well fed.
Yeah, I brought spike ball. I've been playing a lot of spike ball with my friends. Yeah. So
we have a good time while we work hard.
Yeah, exactly. Really cool. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, work hard, play hard. Jen, do you want to finish us off here?
Yeah, I think everything they've said is so true. And I think it's a great opportunity, especially early in the summer. It's a great opportunity to just get out and get moving, get doing stuff, to see some beautiful, I'm looking out the windshield right now at
and there's
a mountain,
a huge, beautiful mountain.
If you want to see this view, you should come on ASP.
Yeah, you should.
We're not going to show it to you.
Yeah, we're not showing you. But I think also touching back on what Connor said, that bit about I think he said earlier, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. ASP is an awesome opportunity to in a really safe environment experience new things, and to build the kindness, our theme this year, and to increase your compassion levels, because you're gonna meet people who are different than you. You're gonna meet that, even being on a crew of people who you've been assigned to, who you didn't get to pick, being with a bunch of people who you've never worked with before, but also on site, meeting those families. I think it's teaching you to just be a more considerate person in general. And I think at the end of the week, you feel good. I mean, there's a physical outcome at the end of the week. You see the deck you've built or the roof you've fixed, but there's also those connections that you've made, and there's some that you have to remember, those connections with your homeowners, or locals, or even if we go into town to ice cream, those people. But there's also the connections that you're going to take back home, the connections with our crew, the group that we have this year, they're people that I probably wouldn't have chosen to spend time with, but now that I have, it's been a great experience, and I've laughed so much. Yeah. And it's just great to experience that. Really cool. You should definitely come.
Yes,
Awesome.
And it's great to get out and immediately, like you said, in the summer, immediately start doing stuff after being sedentary in school for a long while. So that's great too. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. Well, thank you three. I appreciate your time. We're gonna get you sent back to work now, and have a good rest of your day. And folks, thanks for listening to these three. We're gonna send you off to another set of interviews right now. So those were our returning high school students that attended ASP this summer. And right now you're going to hear from our first timers. We're going to hear from 4 brand new students who had attended Appalachia Service Project for the very first time this summer. We are back with 4 of our first timers here on ASP, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves now.
Hi, my name's Ava. I'm going to be a sophomore, and this is my first time on ASP.
My name's Avery. I'm going to be a sophomore, and this is my first time on ASP.
My name's Sophie. I'm also going to be a sophomore, and this is my first time on ASP.
My name's Maya. I'm also going to be a sophomore, and this is my first time on ASP.
Awesome. Can one of you tell me, because you 4 are all on the same crew, can one of you tell me what your project is and what you guys have been doing all week?
We are helping fix up a roof and put on a tin roof. So we've been drilling in sealants, and before that we had to put down underlayment and take off all of the extra layers of roof because you can only have 3 layers. So yeah, it's been fun.
Sounds like you guys have been learning a lot about roofs. Is that the case?
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, awesome. So first time on ASP, this project I think you guys are working on is a particularly difficult one. Were there any nerves, going into the trip, and then were there any nerves when you arrived at the work site, figured out your project there?
Yeah, I think I was a little nervous with my capabilities of like drilling and hammering and that kind of thing. But now, like as I've kind of gotten into a rhythm of it, it's really just like it's getting better and easier and actually fun. So.
Ava, how about you? What are your thoughts about that? Were you nervous coming into this week?
I was a little bit. I was kind of excited just to like be with friends.
Sophie, how about you?
Yeah, I wasn't too nervous at the start, but then we had to like climb up on the roof, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but like it ended up being fine, and it's not that dangerous.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's really interesting how you kind of have your comfort zones pushed this week.
Yeah.
Maya, how about you?
Kind of like similar to Sophie. When I found out we were going to be on a roof, it was kind of scary because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But it ended up being a lot easier than we thought. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm imagining that the adults on your crew made a huge difference in helping you go from nervous to comfortable. Sophie, can you tell us a little bit about your adults and kind of the role they've played for you all this week?
Yeah, so we have Jason and Allie, and Jason has definitely pulled a lot of weight. He's up there like the whole day, and he's like really helpful because he knows what to do, and he's very smart in that way. And Allie, I feel we've gotten to know like on a more personal level, and she's very like supportive, and she'll like let us have breaks if we need it, and yeah, it's just like a good crew to be with.
Avery, do you have more to add about your adults?
Yeah, it's great getting to know them, and we're in the van and talking on our way there. Yeah, it's like it just works so well with how the personalities align.
Yeah.
So.
Maya, do you have any thoughts about like being the first timer and how important the adults are to your crew?
Yeah, like especially when we don't really know what to expect, they help make it all a lot more comfortable, and they make sure that we're like all like not pushing ourselves too hard, and they're like helping guide us with everything that we need and what we have to do, and it's just really helpful. They've been great.
Ava, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Allie and Jason, they're really great.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say teachers, but they know like what to do, and I feel like that makes it a lot easier.
In some ways they are teachers. Jason's got all the skills so he can walk you guys through like some of the stuff you've never done before, and then Allie's kind of that emotional support too. So between the two of them, they seem to make a pretty good team for you guys.
Yeah.
So it's the last day of the week. You guys are about to head out to your work site again for one more day. What has been like the highlight of the work week side of things for you guys? Maya?
I would say yesterday was one of the better days because we got to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah.
We've kind of just been doing the same thing all week. And then yesterday we started getting to use power tools instead of hammers. And it just made everything go a lot smoother, and there was no setbacks yesterday. So it was fun just to be up there and being able to just talk instead of worrying about everything.
Self?
I agree exactly. Like being up there and being able to talk with everybody and just kind of like getting closer with everybody. And it's like you just get to, it's not boring working because you just get to talk and like work, and it's like getting both done.
Awesome. Avery?
I think my highlight is when like yesterday when everyone got up there kind of all at the same time, and then we all just got into like such like a good rhythm too, and it's just fun talking while working, and just brings a lot of like joy to the
Awesome.
work, yeah.
Awesome. And Ava, what's been a highlight for you this week?
I also agree with yesterday. I feel like since we got the underlayment done, just was like a weight off your shoulders, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Getting towards the end of the week, you start to see a lot of the progress you've made, and I know you guys have had a really challenging site, to say the least. Can one of you tell me what kind of challenges y'all ran into and how you overcame them?
There were a lot of like soft spots on the roof,
Uh-huh.
so we just had to make sure we wouldn't like step on those.
Yeah.
And it was like very hard to nail the nails in straight. So there's so many nails laying on the roof, like it's so hard.
Yeah.
But like we found a way to work around it.
Yeah, we got our method.
That was definitely the most frustrating
Yeah,
one.
I bet.
And there were lots of bees everywhere, so it was a
Yes.
constant worry if there was a bee around you.
Uh-huh.
In fear.
Uh-huh.
But it's fine. We got it all under control.
Awesome. So aside from work, what have been some fun things that you guys have experienced this week? Avery?
Ooh, we've gone out to ice cream a couple times. I love like every meal, just talking. Just hanging out around the school too has also been just so fun.
Awesome. So
I think it was great to like get to know the kids from Medina, and we kind of got to like have a whole new like set of friends to be around, and like it's just a good like bonding experience.
Maya?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, we've gotten to know so many people who I probably would have like never even met or talked to, and it's just really great to get to like know them on a personal level and hang out with them and play games and stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Ava?
Kind of what Sophie and Maya said, like Mafia and kickball. That was really fun.
Awesome. Were you all expecting that kind of side of this, or were you guys thinking it was just going to be all work and no play?
A little bit, yeah. I definitely expected to be able to like make some friends and stuff, but like I never would have expected to like be like this close with everybody.
Awesome.
I agree. Like, I kind of thought it was just going to be a lot of working, and then we would go to bed early and everything. But
Not early.
Yeah. But it's been fun to stay up and like just sit around and talk to everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's awesome. Have you guys been on your phones much this week? A little bit? Not really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I think we're going to wrap up right now with one final question. If you could tell somebody who's never been on ASP before why it's meaningful and why they should try it out, what is that thing?
It really helps you build perspective, and you really just get to experience like a different place than where you're normally living, and that really just helps you like to not only like get along with others and really reach out to people and your homeowners. It helps you to kind of like learn things about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think you really learn a lot of new things, and you kind of it's like a week to reflect and stuff like that. And you get to like form new relationships, and it's just kind of like not a fresh start, but it's just like new things, and it's exciting.
Awesome.
I think like other than like helping the community and helping people be safe, it gives you such like a sense of purpose and fulfillment that is just so like meaningful to me, and like just gives me such a, like Maya said, like a perspective on just like life.
Awesome. Ava?
It's really nice. You kind of get to connect with like the homeowner and meet new people.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, friends, for joining us today. Go have fun at your work site and have a really good day, and we'll see you at the end of the day. Thanks. And those were our new first-time ASP attendees. We thank them so much for sharing their thoughts, and especially for our returners as well. We're going to now make the shift over to hearing from our middle school students about their experience on Week of Hope this year. Friends, we are here with 3 of our middle school mission trip friends who cannot keep a straight face. They have a lot of fun doing what they do here in youth ministry, and we're going to have them introduce themselves before we get into our conversation about middle school mission trip. We're going to start down at this end.
My name's Emma Skilpa, and I'm going into 9th grade.
I'm Caitlin Chadwick, and I'm going to be a freshman too.
I'm Julia Schneider, and I'm going to be a freshman.
Awesome. So we all went on Week of Hope for the first time this year. It was a wild ride, to say the least. A whole lot happened, and a whole lot of fun happened. So I think we'll start by talking about is this your first mission trip you've ever been on? And maybe what were you expecting going in? Were you looking forward to it, or were you kind of dreading it? And we'll start with Julia.
This was my first mission trip. I was kind of looking forward to it, but I was also kind of scared because I didn't know, like, how it would be, like, who was in my group. Like, there was a lot of unknowns, but I was also looking forward to it.
This was my first mission trip. I'm gonna be so real. I did not want to go. Like my mom signed me up, and I didn't really know much about it. And it took up an entire week already out of my very busy summer, and so I was like not looking forward to doing what I thought was just a week long of just doing a bunch of work when I could be doing something else.
Yeah.
This is also my first mission trip, and kind of like Caitlin, like, I didn't really want to go. At first, like, before, when you were talking about it, I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And then when it fit into my schedule and I was looking at how I came home from Arizona, and then the next day I left for the mission trip, I was just like... And also I was like, this is going to be a week of manual labor, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be hot, and it's humid, and it's going to be really hard, and I'm going to be really tired. So I wasn't really... like looking forward to it, especially like towards the end of my vacation, because like I had just been on vacation and I was like, oh, this is not really what I want to do when I get home.
For sure.
But yeah.
So I think we've heard a little bit about kind of some of the things you were expecting to do on the trip and what the trip was going to be like. Emma, can you tell us a little bit about maybe what you were expecting from the week and what you were thinking was going to happen? Well,
since this is the first time our church has done like Week of Hope, I think, or at least it's been a while. I was like, I had only really heard about ASP, which I heard was like manual labor, like house building, like construction stuff, and that's kind of what I was thinking this was, but like not as intense since like younger kids could do it. So I was like, probably be like painting or like, like moving stuff or like just cleaning stuff out, but I definitely thought it was going to be like really hard, like hot, long days of boring work.
Yeah. Caitlin, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about it because, like, I'd never done a mission trip before, and I expected just like, I don't know, like a soup kitchen situation or like, like painting or like building houses and stuff like that.
Yeah. Julia?
I guess I thought it was a lot more of like food drive, and which it was very similar, but food drive, and then I also heard that it was about ASP, so I thought it would like either be food drive or like building too. Yeah.
So what was the work? We were all 4 of us kind of on the same crew for the most part. What did we end up doing? What was where were we at, and what did we do there? Who wants to go?
I can do it. Okay. We worked at the Allegheny Association of Churches, and basically what they do is they have a day where a bunch of people can come in and just shop for clothes and get food for free. And so we spent a lot of our time organizing those clothes and sorting through these rooms just full of like unorganized bags of clothes. And we also, on our last day, helped serve the food to the people that came by the drive-by.
Awesome. What did you guys think of that experience, Emma?
Well, at first when we were sorting clothes, like I was like, this is gonna be. I was like, at least I'm not like putting a house together. Like I was like, this actually isn't too bad, but it was kind of boring, at first. But then like, especially because I knew most of the people on the crews we were working with, it was a lot more fun because we were with like friends and stuff. So, I mean, the work itself wasn't too bad. I mean, there were definitely some like gross pieces of clothing I found. And don't even, like, the last day, I'll never forget that.
The onion drawer.
That was really an experience. But the work actually, like, it was, like, a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. And it really wasn't, hot, long days of labor.
Sure.
And it was, just more like hanging out but getting work done while we did it. So.
Yeah. Julia, do you have thoughts on the place we were at and what we did?
I thought it was really fun on the first couple of days, especially when we all had like certain jobs we had to do, and it like we were just like hanging out most of the time and like sorting through clothes, and it was really fun. But then like I think like as it went, it got a little bit more like we didn't need to have that many people there. Like I think it would have been better like to have other people go to another spot to like do more, because I found that like half of the time people were just like sitting there and like half of the time people were like working, which I'm like not blaming them.
Right. And so when because we did have to do that a lot during the week, we had to figure out what were the tasks we had to do, and then when we were done with them, what else could we do? Caitlin, did you have any sort of experience with that and trying to figure out, okay, what's next with this? Because I think you two had the role of making the relationship with the people that we were working with, right? But you two also were all three of you really were big leaders on that crew. Did you have any experiences with like, okay, what's next? What are we doing now? And how you found those things?
Yeah, well, so we all started off on our first day, like, we all had different rooms we were assigned to, and there were, like, our entire group, too, we were all working on the one winter room, and so, because there were 4 of us working in there, we got it done pretty quick, and so we all came outside, and we were, like, everybody was just sorting through new bags and stuff that didn't belong to a room, and then I saw that Julia and Vinny were in this huge women's summer room that was just so unorganized, and so I went to help work with them. To be honest, I don't really know what the rest of my group did, but that was really fun. I think that was probably my favorite part, like just playing music while we did it, and we were sorting through fun clothes,
trying on some clothes,
playing dress up.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I want to switch gears here and talk about the cruise real quick. How did you find out about who was on your crew, and what was it like being with that same group throughout the week? Emma, do you want to go first?
So I actually found out through Julia, like the day before. She texted me and she goes, we're in the same crew, and I was like, oh, who else? So she was telling me who's in my crew, and I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I was a little sad because I wanted to be on the same crew as my brother, but it was okay. Caitlin got that. She got to hang out with him for the week. So I was definitely excited, and the drive up there was, pretty fun to, like, even though I knew everyone was friends with everyone in the group, it was, like, nice to, like, I don't want to say get acquainted, but, like, set the vibe for the week with that group, I guess. And it was definitely, like, a little tense for it sometimes, but, like, I definitely liked my crew, but there were, like, especially as the week went on, like, since, we worked with Caitlin's crew as well, like, there were definitely times where, like, I wanted to go hang out with them, but, like, I had to be with our crew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but it was definitely fun.
Sure. Caitlin?
I found out about our cruise, like, the day we were packing the vans, the day before we left, and you were reading our names, and I heard it, and I was a little worried about the fact that of course I wanted to be in a group with my sister, but, just having to like work with her all week, sometimes we can butt heads, and being in a group with 2 younger boys that I was, you know, a little worried about that, but I seriously, like, I'm so glad that I was with that group, because I think it like totally shaped my experience. And like the car ride up there was so much fun because we were all competing in piano tiles.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I'm glad that our 2 groups were combined too, because I feel like we just had like
it was like a super crew. Like you had like your crew and then the wider team that we were.
I think the dynamic was like really like we fit really well.
For sure, for sure. Julia.
I found out about my crew because Charlie had told me while I had just gotten there, and so she was like, "We're in the same crew with like me, with you, with Emma and Vinny and Matthew," and like so she was really excited that we were all in a group together. I thought it was like really fun. I was again nervous to have that group because a lot of things had changed between the time we had like asked for our groups. But overall it was really fun, and I'm glad I had that group.
What were some of the things that, you know, we talked about the things that you did expect? You were expecting to maybe do a lot of work this week, maybe it would be tired, maybe you weren't expecting to have a lot of fun. What were some of the things that happened during the week that were unexpected? Julia, do you want to start us off?
I think like definitely the programs, like how God-based it was. And then definitely like how much free time and like actually how fun doing work was. I mean, like we all like were talking and like listening to music and having fun.
Yeah, awesome. Caitlin.
I didn't really expect, like with that free time, like we stayed in like one church with like a bunch of different churches, and I didn't really expect us to like all have so much time just together as one big group. And we met so many new people and like made so many new friends, and I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah. Emma.
I can't remember if I said this for one of the other questions or not, but probably like Julia said, like the programs and how involved like all the kids were. Like it was really special to like feel like we were a part of it, because I know that that's not something we usually do at church, and it's usually like, you know, the church people up on the stage, and they like it's not usually like boring or anything, but like, you know, you kind of feel like, well, I mean, you are the audience and you sit and you watch, but like it was really nice to like feel like we were a part of it, and then like also literally get to be a part of it. Like I got to do the drama, which was an experience.
You're going to continue acting after this now?
Professional actress over here.
No?
Oh yeah, I'm going to Broadway.
Mr. Calling.
Oh yeah.
Remember us when you're famous.
Oh yeah. I'll give you free autographs. Sell them on eBay. Oh yeah.
So you mentioned the program. Program was like a really big focal point of the week. What did you feel like you kind of got out of that program that maybe you weren't expecting or were surprised by? Because I know the religious piece, it was a really big part of that, and I don't think a lot of the people that went on the trip with us were really expecting it to be. So what was your experience with the program? I'll start with Emma.
Oh. Well, I don't remember if we said this or not, but I remember like on the first night when we had to sit there, like it was longer than the other ones because like it was the introduction, and Sydney was like kind of telling us how the week would go and
Getting
stuff.
us oriented.
But it was like really long. It was from like 6:30 to like 9:45.
Wasn't that long?
Yes, it was.
It made it felt
so
that
long.
long.
Because
it was
we
that long.
started at 6:45 for the like intro, and then we did the
Okay,
regular
yeah.
program, but we just like stayed in there.
Fair.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
like I don't know if I can do
And we also
it.
did this, like, the after thing, like, as a
Right.
whole church.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So that
okay,
took
so
a
including
while.
Devos. True.
And I was
all
just
right,
like-
all right, my bad.
Like you're
right.
joking. Like I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this all week. Wait, what was the question?
We're talking about program. What did
Oh,
what
yeah.
you get out of it?
Yeah, I was definitely like not, and also because like, you know, I really like service, but like especially because there were a bunch of different denominations of churches there. I wasn't exactly sure how it was gonna go because I grew up in a Catholic church, So, like, the service is just, like, that the priest who gets to wear, like, the fancy robe, and he stands up there and, like, talks about the Bible the whole time. And, like, there's really no, like, kind of like how Pastor Wiley, like, talks about, like, real-life stories and stuff like that. There isn't really any of that. So I was a little worried it might be like that, and we might just be, like, sitting there for an hour while Sydney just, like, read out of the Bible. Because, you know, there were different church denominations, so I didn't really know how that was going to go. Yeah. But then it was actually, like, really nice. Like, we didn't spend the whole time with her just, like, standing up there. Like, we really got to be involved with it. Like, we told stories of scripture through the dramas. We all sang together in worship. We prayed together. And it was really, like, it was a really nice experience to, you know, feel involved in the program and just, like, get to be a part of the worship and like be with all those other people.
Awesome. Caitlin.
I really just didn't expect, like, how involved everybody was gonna be able to be. Like I got to stand up there and sing for most of the programs, and it's, like, such a cool feeling when, like, I'm up there singing and leading the worship, and I look out and I see everybody. They're, like, join hands. People in the front are, like, kneeling, and they're all together. And it's like the whole, like, theme of the week was not conforming, or, like, the first day, that's what it was. And, you know, it's like nobody acted like they were too cool to be there. Nobody acted like they were too cool to be singing or participating. Like, everybody was there, and they really enjoyed it. And, like, that Wednesday night, no offense, Connor, but I got more out of that more than I did my entire confirmation process. And
I know you said that week. I was hoping you were going to say it again.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that honesty.
It's, like, I used to, like, I always pray every night, but I used to read, like, a Bible verse before every night. And I hadn't done that in a while. But, you know, since that, every night I've gotten back into doing that. And, like, that night, Sydney and Reese, the two red shirts, they both prayed over me, and Reese gave me these flowers that she had pressed in her Bible, and, like, that just meant so much to me, and that whole night, like, really had a big impact on me.
Awesome. Julia.
Definite words.
Words. Sorry, we can cut that out.
So I have, like, a shorter attention span, so, like, the first night was difficult, like, because what Emma was saying.
Yeah, it was long.
It was long, and it wasn't, like, so much as, like, the rest of the week. I thought it was going to be more like how church service is now, where it's, like, we're not as involved, and it's more, like, just people talking.
Yeah.
But, like, they had, like, a game in the beginning, which I thought was really fun, and they always, like, the songs, and, like, the first song, I forgot what it was, but, like, where we all, like, danced to it.
Oh, the Get Down?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. And it was, like, a lot more people were involved, and, like, Sydney, like, shared her stories.
Awesome. So the theme of the week was influencer. What do you feel like you got out of that theme? What do you feel like you learned about? Caitlin, you had mentioned, like, you got a lot out of this particular theme as far as your faith goes. So I'm going to start with you. What do you feel like you pulled from that?
Just the whole theme of, like being an influence to other people, and also about how, you know, Jesus and God is such an influencer in my life, and I feel like through this whole process I've gotten so much closer to God, and, like, just having the new mindset of always trying to be an influencer, but also being open to being influenced in a positive way. I just really got a lot out of that.
Awesome. Emma?
I was definitely skeptical of the theme at first, because, like, you know, I mean, we did this earlier, but when I saw it, I was like, influencer, like I thought it was them, like, trying to be cool and hip and, like, trying to relate to the younger kids, but they were like,
which, like, on some level it is.
It is, but it was also, and I was like, if these are, like, millennials, like, trying to do this, and they're failing.
Oh, wait, millennials?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we, old? Get out of here.
Because, like, this is about to fail very miserably if that's what they're trying to do with this. But there was actually a lot of real lessons that I learned from it, and it really helped remind me, like, I see myself as a leader, and it really helped me not just, like, be that part of myself, but like understand why like I have that in me and understand why I do that, and also just really kind of like Caitlin said, be open to positive influence and not just be an influencer, but also be influenced by the people around you and by God in your life.
Awesome.
Like I personally took it as more of like influence people to like be a good person and like be a leader instead of like influence them to God and trying to like make them Christian. But yeah, like be a leader and also like be able to also listen to other people and like don't like lead too much that other people can't like come in and like help you.
Yeah, that's a really important balance to strike, that you're leading by example but not also like dictating what people do and forcing them into things. So we're gonna start wrapping up here, I think. I'm gonna start with, if you had one moment that you were gonna look back on that trip and remember, what is that one moment? Caitlin, do you have one?
For sure, after, that Wednesday night where we all, like, she gave us our moment, like, alone with Jesus, and then we all went to our youth leader, and they gave us a word, and they said they said stuff about why we got that word, and my word was leader, and I will never forget what Mrs. Yakeley said to me about why I got that word and giving me that word, and I mean, like, the things she said will stick with me forever.
Emma?
So I wish I could say the same about that moment, because I kind of forgot most of it because I just started crying.
That's okay.
And then I didn't stop for the rest of the night. But I would probably... There were really two moments that really stood out to me. One that was on site when we were on the last day, when we were cleaning out the really disgusting, absolutely horrific. Oh yeah, trauma bonded for sure. The onion drawer.
You guys act like you guys cleaned the drawer, like you didn't make me do it.
We found it, and
Sawyer's face was this far away from the drawer when he opened it. He had no mask on. He pulled it open and went.
Sawyer.
Like, I will forever, like...
I held the bag for you.
That's true. It was a team effort.
Chloe recorded, and I supported you from the window outside.
That's true.
And I held your light. I held your light while you scrubbed the inside. I was so helpful.
I spread out the
rooting
floor.
for you guys from upstairs.
There in spirit. So, onion drawer, and you said you had another moment.
So, this one also involved Sawyer, unfortunately for him. So on Wednesday night, after we did, or attempted to do Devo, we were all sitting outside together, me, you, and Julia and Matthew, because I don't know where Vinny and Charlie were, but we were sitting there, and then, like, I was crying, and we didn't really get anything done, so you left, I think. I don't remember where you went. I just remember you were gone. And then Matthew left, too, and he was gone. And then Sydney and Charlie came out, and they were like, hey, there are still people in the, program room. Do you want to go back in there? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So I obviously didn't say, like, I was like obviously sobbing, but so we were walking inside, and Sawyer was standing in the doorway, and I remember, like, I don't remember exactly what I said because I was like half crying when I said it, but I was like I wanted to give you a hug earlier, but I thought it was gonna be weird. Can I give you a hug? And he was like, yeah. I don't remember how long I was there, but it was definitely a while, because I was hugging him and I was crying, and then, like, we had to move out of the doorway. But, like, I just remember the next morning, I was going down to take a shower because my face was sticky because it was, like, tears and snot facial.
The highlight quote for me from you was, I didn't know I had this much water in my face.
Yeah, it was really gross. So I was going down to take a shower. I just remember, like, Sawyer was sitting outside the shower, and he asked me, he was like, are you okay? And, like, I'll always remember that moment, because, like, even someone like him who I barely knew, like, I knew him before the trip, but I never really talked to him. Like, I didn't even really know him. We had worked a little together on the site, but really not that much. And then just really the genuine, like, care he had, and, like, especially, like, he's a year younger than me, and he's a boy, and that's not really something that,
middle school boys, 7th grade boys and 8th grade girls couldn't be farther apart
No,
on
for
where
sure.
they're at.
And it was just really that moment of, like, I would say connection and the genuine care that really, like, I'll never forget that.
That's awesome. Julia.
I will definitely not remember.
I will remember nothing.
No, I will definitely remember when we were putting our names on the cross. Like, I was starting to cry, but I was like, I'm gonna keep it together because I know once I start crying, I won't be able to stop. And I don't pretty cry. I don't think anyone does.
Oh my god,
Nobody does. Like,
no.
But then once, like, you gave me my word and, like, started telling me, like, why, I just couldn't keep it together and just started crying. So, like, I won't forget that.
Yeah. I know it was really awesome for us as adults to be able to have that moment to give you those words, because we really do truly, like, believe those things about you. And I hope you guys now believe that about yourselves, because it's so true. All right. Last question. Oh, go for it. Go.
Sorry.
Tell us.
The Devo after that Wednesday night, or was it the last night? I don't remember. But one of the Devos where we were all together. Emma, I don't want to embarrass you.
No,
but Emma had said something, and, like, on the last day, like, you were just telling me, like, how much of an impact I had on you and your faith, and about how much closer we had gotten even though we weren't that close before. And that just made me realize, like, along with the theme of influencer, like, how I can influence people without even trying, and how everybody can do that. And I feel like that was just so impactful, and it meant a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Of course.
All right. Final thing we're going to do, if each of you could tell us why somebody who has never been on Week of Hope should go on Week of Hope. Emma, we'll start with you.
I've been waiting for this moment. Coming from someone who's a bit of a skeptic before Week of Hope, you definitely should go, because if you don't, then very sad for you. But Week of Hope, especially because it involves like younger kids, like down to 6th grade, like, it's really a chance to not just connect with the members of your church that go, but, like, with other people from other churches. And then, you know, also you get some, like, independent time where you're alone and you have to make some decisions for yourself. Like, should I stay up until 2 a.m. tonight when I have to go out and do stuff on the field tomorrow? Or should I go to bed?
Yes.
Did you make that choice? Okay.
I know someone who did, though. I
So
won't
that
name
one
names.
night, or that one day you were really tired had nothing to do with that.
No.
Okay.
No. But it also gives some of those younger kids those options to, you know, make some responsible choices. And then, like I said, you get to become, because I became so much closer with, like, Caitlin and, you know, people that went to our church that I never really talked to, or that, you know, I never even saw around church at all. So really just to bring you closer to the community around you, and then also have you really get to experience and feel your impact on the people that you get to help while you're out there. Like, serving is something I've done before, but I've never really, you know, understood or felt the impact as much as I have when we were on Week of Hope, because there was so much that needed done at our site, and, like, no matter what we did, even if it was hard for us to find jobs at some times, there was always something that needed done, and something that needed fixed, something that needed gone through, and it was really just amazing to see how our impact and our influence on that site, and how much we were able to help and contribute to those people who really need it.
Awesome. Julia.
I would definitely say, like, the memories and the friendships you make, because I went into this trip and I was very skeptical about, like, certain people, and my mom, like, came in and was like, my mom said to me, you don't know what'll happen, people act different on these trips, like, you might come home best friends with, like, people you weren't expecting. And that did happen. Like, we're friends now, and, like, not that we weren't, but, like, I didn't really know you.
Closer,
Yeah, and so, yeah, just, like, the friends that you make, and, like, the memories will, like, last forever. Like, even if we're not necessarily friends at school, like, we'll have that friendship at, like, church and, like, ASP.
Yeah, and that's such, I think, a cool thing about these trips is you get your church friends, and you know, maybe you're not in the same friend groups at school, but you know that those people will have your back at any moment, and that's, I think, a really cool part of this. Caitlin.
I just, like, you should definitely go because it's, like, this will always be something I look back on with positively. Like, it had such a big impact on me, and I made so many new friends that I wasn't expecting to make, and just, like Emma said, the impact that you have on people. Like, out of the few interactions that I had with the people we were serving, you know, these people are less fortunate than us, but they are some of, like, the sweetest people I have ever talked to. And it's just such an amazing thing to experience and, like, to see how much you are helping others. And then to be able to come back and, like, you know, in our free time we'd all play 9 Square or we'd do Connor's Nails or, like, it's just such a sense of community, and everybody would have a great time, you know, and nobody was focused on the fact that, oh, we have to go out, we have to do manual labor. Like, everybody came back thinking positively about what they had done. And, you know, everybody was in the same boat. Everybody was doing, you know, virtually the same thing, even though we were all at different sites. And so I would definitely recommend going.
Friends, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the UN Youth podcast, where we heard so much amazing stuff from our students about the summer mission trip experiences that they've had this year in 2024. If you want to learn more about the mission trips with First Church Hudson, you can DM me at the UN Youth podcast Instagram or at FCC Hudson Youth, or you can hop on to HudsonUCC.org/youth to find out more about mission trips and our program there. Please find us on HudsonUCC.org/podcasts to interact with us a little bit more as a podcast, help you drive the content that you want to hear from us, and you can also buy merch at that page as well. Friends, thanks so much again for listening, and we will see you next time.